Hi there. So I realized on the journey to acquiring emotional intelligence or to improving our emotional intelligence, I will not do this particular series much justice if I do not tackle or address a component that I find very critical when it comes to developing our emotional intelligence. This is because this component is that part of our personality that determines how we think, how we behave, and how we feel. And if we recall, emotional intelligence is about our feelings, about our reactions, and about how we, basically go about doing the things that we do. So let's talk self-confidence. Now, self-confidence is, like I said, it's that part of our personality that is very critical when it comes to how we think. That's how we reason, how we react to situations, and also how we feel about, or how we also understand our own feelings, and whether we have that feel-good attitude also around us. So self-confidence is the belief in yourself, believing in yourself, knowing that you have the ability or the capability to do that which needs to be done to achieve the desired outcome. And of course, outcome in this case could be in your, day-to-day activities, in your job, in your career, in your business, and of course also in just generally doing life. So I would want to look at self-confidence, further split it into two. I would want to split it into what is known as self-worth and self-liking and self-competence. Now, self-worth is that, appreciating, you're appreciating who you are, appreciating that you're an individual that is unique, and that is worth or deserving of respect. That is self-worth or self-liking. And remember, if you do not like yourself, most people probably won't either. So it starts with you. And it's always important to remind ourselves and to reaffirm that we need to love ourselves first. We need to appreciate ourselves first so that we can project our self-worth, and we can project how people actually now view us. Then we have self-competence. Now, self-competence in self-confidence is your ability, the trusting your ability to deliver the best, trusting your ability to do any task that is charged to you, or to be the best that you can be. So self-confidence has a lot to do with how we, our view of life. It has a lot to do with how we view ourselves in life situations, how we, consider our own abilities. Do we always find ourselves or consider ourselves as victims of circumstances? I have said previously, once we always look at ourselves as victims of circumstances, what is likely to happen is you will put yourself in a situation where you cannot rise above challenges, and you will not rise above that circumstance, because as far as you're concerned, as far as you've tuned your mind, I am where I am because of such and such a situation. Whereas a self-confident person realizes that there are challenges in life, There are situations in life that put us in a place where we wouldn't want to be, but hey, we can rise above those challenges, we can rise above that situation and attain the best. Remember self-motivation in emotional intelligence. Now, self-motivation is that drive to achieve your life goals, to be the best that you can be. But now, self-confidence is the fuel that you need to drive you to self-motivation. Because unless you understand and value yourself and appreciate yourself, you will be hard-pressed to drive yourself, to self-motivate yourself. So that's why I think self-confidence is very key when we are talking emotional intelligence. Now, I would want us also to try and understand and not misconstrue or not mistake self-confidence for the extreme part of confidence, which is overconfidence. Now, overconfidence is actually, being too confident to the point of being domineering, to the point of being arrogant, or, riding on conceit. So, an overconfident person, for starters, it's always about their ideas. It's always my agenda, my achievements. Now, a self-confident person understands and appreciates that they know they have, the confidence they have in themselves to understand that I am capable of this and I can do this. But a self-confident person is also willing to accept correction or willing to learn. An overconfident person, on the other hand, believes that it begins and ends with them. Yeah, and once we get to that level of overconfidence, we also now become controlling people. And controlling is, as far as you're concerned, nobody else knows it, I do. And so we need to work on self-confidence and move away from overconfidence, and also not find ourselves in the bottom of the ladder of when it comes to confidence, which is now low self-confidence or low self-esteem. Now, low self-esteem is where you're bordering on actually being timid, and when you are you suffer from low self-esteem, you don't believe that you're deserving of anything good that happens to you. You do not believe that that life, can hand you out, all the goodness that it has to offer. You do not even take initiative to do anything because you're always in self-doubt. You're always wondering, can I do this? When you are suffering low self-confidence or low self-esteem, you also, find yourself not, you will not appreciate any achievements you make. Every time you're trying to think of past, activities, you probably find yourself bordering on mistakes. Now, we say learn from mistakes, but also celebrate your achievements. When you're a self-confident person, you understand that you are worthy of also celebrating any achievements that you have made in life, or that you have made, in achieving your objectives. So it's really important that we work at being self-confident, not being overconfident, and not being underconfident, or finding ourselves suffering from low self-esteem. When you have low self-esteem, people, it will be hard to convince people of your abilities. Remember when I said that people will value you or view you the same way you value or view yourself. Now, if you do not believe in your abilities, nobody else will. You have to believe in your own abilities for other people to see the value of your value, or to believe in your abilities. So always remember that it starts with you. Even as we work towards achieving emotional intelligence, as we work at our social skills and self-awareness, when we are looking at self-confidence, a lot also has to do with self-awareness. So if you do not master self-confidence, you might be in a place where when you're suffering from low self-confidence, or what I'm referring to as low self-esteem, you will find yourself whenever you have to think of the feelings that you're dealing with, you will always find yourself dealing with feelings of regret, disappointment, frustration, resentment. Those are the feelings you'll always find yourself dealing with, as opposed to when you are working towards developing emotional intelligence. You're supposed to appreciate those feelings. Now, this is what a self-confident person will do as you work towards developing emotional intelligence. You will allow yourself to feel all those feelings, to feel the good and the bad, the pleasant and the unpleasant. But you will now then work towards reacting or managing them appropriately. If you don't do that, what you end up doing is feeling the feelings. And then now, when you're not confident enough to tell yourself that I need to work on these feelings, or I need to work on this situation, you will only pick the negative aspect, and then now get lost in your negativity. So that's what we want to try and move away from, and that's why I think self-confidence is very key and very vital when we are looking at emotional intelligence. The same way, if you're not able to practice self-awareness, when you're overconfident, you will never have time to listen to yourself. Your mind tells you control at all times. So this is where now self-awareness and emotional intelligence comes in. When you have your self-confidence in check, then you're able to correctly and aptly feel the right feelings and move with the right feelings. Yeah. So we shall continue looking at how we can develop, or rather how we can better improve on our self-confidence as we work also towards emotional intelligence. Because like I said, I feel these two go hand in hand, and even as we develop emotional intelligence, let's also be people who value themselves and who have self-confidence, and who can stand in stand in the midst of people, even as you consider that even as you become emotionally sensitive, you can, because being emotionally sensitive does not mean overlooking your own capabilities. It does not mean overlooking your own input. It means being aware. And so self-confidence comes in that sense, that you are aware, that you are confident in your abilities, you are confident in the awareness of your feelings, and then you can react appropriately. Thank you so much for listening. Do have yourselves a lovely week.